Hello, my name is Kim Osborne. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force member. I retired in 2011 after 26 years in the military. I'm also a service-connected veteran. Last fall, I had met this young lady, Joni, who is my fellow veteran sister, and she was telling me about a program that she had experienced, and it's called Heroes to Heroes. She had told me about this, about how she went on a trip to Israel and it was life-changing for her. So she had encouraged me to apply for it. I had served in a few combat zone areas and overall thought I was handling everything really well, but I did know that there was some spiritual healing that I needed to do.
I'm so glad we met that day.
Me too.
I'm so glad you were able to get accepted as well. Wonderful friend, and so honored to have met Kim. My name is Joni Dixon, as she said, and I'm an Air Force veteran. I did a little active duty and a little reserves. I'm medically discharged for active duty services, and I'm reserved physical injuries and PTSD, MST. So yes, I got to go on the first off-email trip 2 years ago. It was a life-changing trip. I had attempted suicide 12 times. And I had just finished seminary when I got accepted to this trip after I'd applied 4 years before. I didn't know if I could ever go, and it was a dream of mine all those years. I just got myself back together, but I was still fighting those issues from before, from the military and other things in my life, even though I had gone to seminary. And I knew this is what I needed after seminary, to really hold to the glue to what happened to me in the military and other things, and I hold the glue what I'd gone through in the seminary and what taught me. And this was just perfect because I couldn't afford it otherwise. And Heroes to Heroes was truly that life-changing trip for me. And I was so awesome when I met Kim that she was able to get accepted and go.
Thank you. Also, I was noticing at the time that when I had retired from the military, I had noticed that I was very disconnected from people. I had a hard time connecting to family, friends, and so when this opportunity came up for this trip, I had to wonder myself, am I deserving of this, or why did I get selected for this? Because again, I knew that my disabilities maybe, or limitations were maybe not as bad as some of my fellow teammates that were on the team. But as soon as we landed into Israel and I stepped off the plane, I knew right away that I was in the place that I needed to be. In my trip, we were Team 18. I just came back from Israel on March 20th of this year, 2018. There is a brother team that's over there currently. According to Heroes, I was told that they do 6 trips a year. 1 trip a year is a female team, all-female team. But the applications for the females have been on the low side, so that's why it's only 1 female team a year. But I did talk to Judy about that, and they are starting to see an increase of female applications. So they are looking at to start doing 2 trips a year for the female team. Again, like as Joni had said too, I was limited on funds. So to have done this trip, there would have been no way I could have financially afforded this. But with the foundation and with the donations that people give to this organization, they were able to fund my airfare from Newark, New Jersey to Tel Aviv. They funded all my entrance fees to the holy sites. They funded our lodging, our hotel expenses. So really it allowed us to not have to worry about coming up with those expenses to be covered. So it really gave us an opportunity to get in there, to experience the sites, walk where Jesus had walked, touch what he had touched, and it was a great opportunity for emotional healing and just an overall great experience, wouldn't you say?
Yes, just life-changing. I mean, emotionally, I mean, it's hard to even really put the words to it, isn't it? I mean,
it really is.
Like you said, touching the wall and being baptized and touching the birthplace of Jesus, but also Golan Heights. I mean, just as hard as it was still so worthwhile.
Yes.
Because and walking with the sisters there.
On our team, we had 3 Israeli women that had served in the military, and that was very eye-opening to me as well, too, to actually be going through this journey with fellow NATO forces or sisters that had experienced similar, if not worse, situations than we had. Another thing I noticed too, coming back from the trip, that I came back and, you know, all my troubles didn't go away and all that kind of stuff, but when I came back, I just had a sense of calmness from that whole trip. I'm just more calm, it seems like. I can handle things, the stress, the personal, feelings that I had, negative stuff about myself. I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah, you can let it go a lot easier.
And that's exactly right, because that's what I said at the Western Wall, is I'm letting it go. And from that moment on, between that and the baptism, the renewal baptism that I had done, I felt cleansed. I felt like I was finally able to release it. And even since then, I've come back. I've noticed my family situations have been handled a lot differently. I have a teenage daughter who's going through issues, but it didn't get me all riled up or angered and all that kind of stuff. I was just able just to sit and listen to her. So
yeah, exactly. I've lost my dog since I've been back, and after the 12 attempts at suicides before, I didn't go back to how deep I was in depression before. I mean, and I had an ESA vest for him, and I didn't go back to where I was before, which is amazing, because I would have, because I had put all my energy into him. So yeah, it's that life-changing. So thank you.
What is the website again? Give the website.
Heroes2heroes.org.
exactly, heroes2heroes.org.
And you donate online?
Oh yes, there's a link right there on the main page.
On the main page, there's donations, a site to be able to, or a link that you can donate. There's also the application processes on there as well too. So if you, or even if you know a family member that could be in need of this, again, I was not aware of these programs or these retreats until I met Joni. But even just since then, I know I came back with a handful of people that I automatically knew would benefit from this program. Brothers, sisters, whether you served 2 years in the military or whether you did 26 years or 30 years in the military, it's just a great program that people should look into. It's a very humbling experience. And again, I really couldn't figure out what I was going to get out of this trip before I went, because I was like, how could just going to Israel, make a change? But there was something inspiring about that trip, humbling and just amazing, life-changing, definitely.
Thank you